The live events this week have thrown up some interesting challenges so far. Of course, we've already explored this over on the Ibiza map. This time out, we come over to Hong Kong Island, where we've got a couple of challenges, and it's an Audi challenge across the board. Two separate races here today, and it's all focused around the Audis, and I'm glad for this one. Starting off here, we're in the Audi R8 Decennium, a car I wanted to use just last week against the Huracan Evo, and we were kind of robbed of that challenge. It was the rear-wheel drive Audi R8 we were having to use. But today, we can rectify this, and we can start to take a look at the extra events that we have here on Hong Kong Island. Ocean Drive Pursuit, a 2-lap foggy race on asphalt in the supercar category. It must be an Audi, and it must have an RP of just 680. My chosen weapon of choice here is, of course, the R8 Decennium. Now, what I do feel we're going to have with this race is some tight competition. Yes, it's 4-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive essentially, but they're all Audi R8s, and they all have a cap of RP that is 680. So for me, it's going to be a very tight challenge. Now, we can see straight off the start of this race, there's water on the road surface. So standard road tyres are probably going to be a must for this one. But the challenge that we've got here is, well, realistically, if the AI is in tune with the race, well, we can't make any mistakes because the cars should all be pretty well balanced across everybody's vehicle, everyone's R8. Because the RP is so tight at 680, and I did notice coming into this race that the AI have slightly upgraded, well, we've got to be on the ball and we cannot make mistakes. Good start for us though in the R8 Decennium. Massive lead it feels that we've got over the AI. It is just 3.7 seconds, but considering that all of the RP is the same or as good as the same across the board, well, those 4 seconds actually feel alright. We take a bit of a chance here. We are slap bang on 4 seconds lead still. It does feel like this is going to be one of those races. If the AI is up to it, they could give us a bit of a challenge. If not, then it's going to be another lonely race for this week's live weekly events here on Hong Kong Island. I did just miss that shortcut on the road, so it's not going to be a fast lap time overall, unfortunately. There is that shortcut. We'll make sure we do get that one on lap number 2. We should well and truly know this section of the map by now. One of the very first ranked races that we had was, of course, around this section. I remember it vividly when, of course, Test Drive Unlimited did the launch. Had a lot of trouble with this part of the track. Of course, the cobblestones here, they are wet. I don't expect a lot of grip. However, the R8 Decennium actually feels to be gripping the road fairly well. Just for context, once again, because people do tend to ask, I haven't got a tune applied to this one. I did just manage to catch that checkpoint, however. I don't have a tune applied to this. I have got upgraded parts to get it to 679 RP, I believe, but no tune, standard road tyres fitted, and it's good just to come back and enjoy the races. Cars with some slight upgrades, just kick back and enjoy the races, explore what the latest live weekly event has given us. And again, I will call it like I see it, another great race in the R8 Decennium here. I'll brush over the fact that the AI are nowhere near competing against us, which I think they should have been. We're 23 seconds ahead. The AI should be tight against us. We're on the expert AI. I'm not the best player at this game, I never claimed to be. But the AI should be all over the back end of us when we're on expert difficulty. I do want to see that one upgraded. Again, I'm not going to get into that one. We'll talk about the race, and I'm so happy to be back in the R8 Decennium here. Feel robbed that we never got to use it last week up against the Huracan Evo, which I absolutely love. The Huracan Performante, which I absolutely love. But I do also love this Audi R8. One of my dream cars is, of course, an Audi R8. Something that isn't actually unattainable realistically with the cost that they have came down to. So for me, I want to try and use it in the game as much as I can, but we were robbed last week and we had to use the rear-wheel drive, which is simply no competition to the Performante. We do manage to get the shortcut this time out. Make sure, guys, you're saving some lap time taking that shortcut just there. We'll try and jump over just a little bit here. Yep, don't do too bad. The Decennium felt quite balanced, but apparently I missed the checkpoint. God damn it. Let's get back to that checkpoint. I didn't actually realise that I missed it. Okay, I can see how I've missed it then. Cut across the track just too much. Don't be an idiot. Don't make the mistakes I'm making. I'm making them so you don't have to. essentially here, but we've still got a stellar, a huge lead over the rest of the pack. The Decennium's being absolutely no trouble for us whatsoever. The challenge may be coming into this with the rear-wheel drive Audi R8. Perhaps that is where the challenge lies. But for me, I want to use the cars that I love, the cars that I want to be using in the game, and it's the R8 Decennium, and I think I just missed another checkpoint. I certainly did. Making far too many errors here. We know we're not going to have a fast lap time, but we can enjoy the race that we have, of course, got. Right-hander, a little touch of a handbrake. We'll start styling this one out, seeing as how we've cocked up the rest of the race by missing checkpoints. We're just about to hit that start-finish line, and we're just about to take another win for the live weekly events. And as we already know, well, that's the 4th win. We're now up to 40 points for the required, of the required 150 for this week's live weekly event challenge to unlock the livery for the classic Ford Mustang. So heading on over to the second race for today, just to kind of refresh our memory, we're exploring the live weekly events. The second race that we're going to have here, well, like we already know, coming into the Hong Kong Island races, is essentially an Audi challenge. First race we did an R8 Decennium. Second race right here we do indeed have groceries in Wan Chai. A 2-lap circuit race, clear dusk on asphalt. In this time it is restricted to the Audi TT RS, and we are given 700 RP to play with. And much like yesterday, we have adapted the car to 700 RP. I do have my grip tune applied to this one, but I suspect we're going to have a wet road surface, so we do have the slick, or the standard road tyres fitted, sorry, and we've leveled this up to 699 RP, or 719 RP rather, to get us under the 720 RP limit. I think those were the numbers, hopefully they are. If not, I look a little bit foolish, but we have adapted the car for the race, like we did yesterday in the TTRS Coupe. We've got a 2-lap race here on Hong Kong Island. Kind of know these roads fairly well by now. We should have all spent enough time on this map to understand the roads where we are and kind of preempt the corners, the turns that we're going to have. Now, the TTRS we know is very much OP, and just like that Audi R8 Decennium race that we did just do, well, the RP is set, and for me the AI should be leveled up relative to where we're leveled up and should be as competitive as we are. Once again, on expert AI difficulty, the AI should be all over the back end of us, as we don't even have a clean race here. We've got a 3-second lead on the AI, maybe not the most amount. I just want to see a little bit more of a challenge, and it feels like the last couple of videos, I must apologise that I've complained that the AI is not good enough, but for me it simply isn't good enough. Once again, I'm not saying I'm the best player at the game, I certainly am not. But I do want to see the AI more competitive, more difficult, with these struggles that we've got here of matching up with multiplayer, which again, I sat in the lobby for about 10 minutes waiting for somebody to join, and they didn't. So yeah, that's why we're here against the AI, unfortunately. Hairpin left that we've got just here round the tram stop. Yeah, we'll say that was a decent enough effort, why not? Downhill through the left-hand, right-hand slalom section. It's not much of a chicane realistically. Probably could have carried a hell of a lot more speed there. Kind of learning the track that we've got. Know the map, but you've got to learn the track. This is obviously the very first attempt I've had at this one. Left-hander just there again, feels like I could have carried a little bit more speed, but we do start off lap number 2. We kind of know roughly where we need to be placing this car now. Right-hander, cut across the curbs, through the left-hand, right-hand, prepare for a right-hander just here again, a little bit of handbrake, because I came into that with not the best of angles, cut across the central reservation, big power slide coming out of the left-hander. Yeah, we can get to know these tracks, these circuits essentially that we've been giving fairly quickly. I would say left-hander again, we can cut across that central reservation. Unfortunately there's a barrier which did surprisingly slow us down. We've actually seen the change there, that the barriers, well, they don't tend to slow us down much anymore. Perhaps you have to hit them head on. One thing I have noticed, if you sideswipe a barrier, they tend to slow you down quite aggressively. However, if you hit them head on, they tend not to slow us down all too much. I am not making a good attempt at this race whatsoever. I won't try and hide that fact. It is not a great effort, but it's more of an exploration and a walkthrough of the races that we have got so far. I will undoubtedly come back here and try and make a good attempt of the race. Try and set a decent time on the leaderboard. I imagine this is probably going to be one of the hottest contested leaderboard, with it being Audi TTRS. I imagine everybody at this point has got an OP tune for this one. Maybe a lot of people are copying each other's tunes, which is beautiful. It's exactly what you want to see, engagement within the community for the game. but a lot of people have got a tune for the car, know how they want the car set up for these very specific races. We've seen it all too many times before with Audi TTRS, that they're hotly contested categories or races, and I expect the same once again. And we do, of course, box off the 5th win, the 50th set of points for this week's live events. Rinse and repeat all 5 races 2 more times, if you guys weren't aware. And of course, you will unlock the livery for the classic Ford Mustang. So just to clear one thing up, that previous race we can see was a max RP of 700. The car was tuned to 699, not 719, like I missaid. Or misspoke in the race itself. But once again, guys, give me your thoughts and your opinions of the races that we have got. I think we've got some fantastic challenges on Hong Kong Island, just like we had over on the Ibiza map with the 3 races that we had there. For me, yeah, it's a good selection of cars, a good selection of tracks, circuits, whatever you want to call them. Once again, having a multiplayer obviously is going to make them a lot better. Maybe you guys can jump in with some of your friends and, you know, do it that way. Maybe you guys see somebody on the map, try and pair up with somebody and get some multiplayer races going. It is something this game is so sorely missing and so sorely needs fixed. It's even starting to wear on me, guys, if you cannot tell. We need multiplayer racing in this game. If you made it this far, once again, guys, thank you so much. Please do smash the like button if you haven't already. Please do also consider subscribing. I do hope you have enjoyed the races. Let me know what you guys thought of it all. As I kind of spoke about before, it'd be great to understand where you guys are with the live weekly events. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. As always, guys, stay tuned for more updates on Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown.